So this is kind of nice, like nice celebration for the fall. So, but tonight, let's just concentrate. I think we have a long agenda, but we would like to focus on the 4th of July parade planning. Okay, but before that, we are just so excited that we finally formalized the Mira Mesa Community Champions as a corporation to be a 501c3 nonprofit organization. So we are in the preliminary stage. We just was just approved the incorporation paper in August, and now we are on bylaws approval next week, and then we will do the tax exemption so that we can have those 501c3 tax exemption. So, but for that, we need to have founding board of directors, founding board officers to make that happen. So tonight, I would like to introduce Press Weaver. So he's the one that elected to be president of the Mira Mesa Community Champions. So, Press?
Oh, thank you, Vince. Thank you, Vince. So we're not going to spend a whole raft of time on the organization. We want to get down to business on what the organization is going to do. But I would, so you do know who everyone is, I do want to introduce all the folks on the board. So Mark Carroll is our secretary. Mark, you want to say a word or two?
Not really. I love this group from the very beginning when I first got started, and it's something that worked for the people of Maryland, and it worked for having community spaces for people from Maryland. So that's why I'm still in.
Thank you, Mark. Yen Wong is our treasurer.
Come on, Yen.
He doesn't want to say anything.
I'm a numbers person.
Well, and then Yen retired at UCSD and managed millions of dollars a month. We don't have that. We don't have that.
Right, I retired from UCSD.
Excellent. Just recently, or?
About almost 10 years ago.
Okay.
I was a project manager of a science project. So I dealt with numbers there as well.
So you can see why she's got the numbers here.
Yen Wong, yeah. And Yen, on Tuesday, she is one of those dedicated volunteers that run the Mahjong on Tuesday for France. So we will have about 12 tables, maybe 50 players every Tuesday.
And our other directors are Lauren Kleinschmidt, Gloria, Robert Wilson, Vince, of course, and the motion activated we have some competition.
Wait, that's another board member? There you go.
Robert, did you want to say a few words?
I'll say a couple of words. Yeah, so I serve as a member of the board at large. And you're a Mesa resident on and off for 27 years. We moved back and just kind of wanted to do something for this community that's been great for me. So I'm really excited to help out and found some opportunity to use my skill set to get to the root cause of some issues that we were experiencing for moving forward.
Thank you, Robert. Vince, of course, Karen Wilshie. Floor is yours.
So I too am a retired IT executive. Have been retired for about 4 years, and I learned about meetings that we were having to try and understand about the rec center. So I got involved just because when I was working, I had no time to pay attention to anything, and so I just learned a lot about the community, and I hope that we can all work together to further everybody's, make Mira Mesa even better than it is today.
Thank you, Karen. And I don't see Dan.
Oh, you're still traveling.
Oh, he's still, oh, Dan's still traveling?
Yeah.
Okay, Dan Gruda
He's here next week.
is also on the board. He'll be here for our initial, I guess, we'll call it our initial board meeting. We have to approve the bylaws.
We have
Yeah.
to sign.
That's true. So there's a kind of a two-pager here on basically what Mira Mesa Community Champions is and what we plan to do. It is taken pretty directly from the bylaws. So if you don't have a copy, we can put that up on the website, right? Absolutely. So I won't belabor that. And also our email address is on there for ideas, which we need. Lots of ideas about how to make Mira Mesa better. And our website address is on this as well. So without further eloquence on that, we do want, I can't even see the agenda. That's what am I doing next? Oh, I don't know.
Well,
On there somewhere.
Fell asleep?
There we go. So, purpose and vision, I'm not gonna belabor that. Please read that 2 pagers. You'll get a real good idea of what we're doing. We did board officers, community projects. Oh, that's where we're going next.
yes.
Let's do that.
Yeah.
4th of July, okay.
Later, that's the last one.
So epicenter first?
Yeah, epicenter. She's now both Mira Masons, Brandon and Riley. Riley moved to Mira Mason.
You can just, you don't have HDMI connection?
I think I did, yes, I do.
So I think we can do that.
Cool, we can share some.
Yeah, let's share some stuff. Here's the microphone so you can
Thank you.
speak loud and share stuff.
Wow, there you go. Okay.
Hello, everybody. It's good to see you again. Lots of familiar faces. And also great job on the fall festival. We came out and it was super awesome. I enjoyed the haunted houses. That was really fun. So we just wanted to share some pictures of construction. Obviously, you guys have probably the best view in the house of construction, so you can see it right across the parking lot. But on our website, we post a monthly construction update, just sharing some of the photos of construction as it's going on. But we wanted to also give you guys a sneak peek at some of the pictures that might appear on next month's update as well, because there's been a lot happening in the past 3 weeks specifically. So we have some framing going on, as you guys have seen. It went really fast. The framing, it's one of those things that once that subcontractor gets started, they just really roll and do all the thank you. Yeah, you can just move to the next one. I wanted to sort of touch on this. You can see on the outside of the building, there's actually a sort of cutout for what is going to be an SDGE access electrical room. So if you see a part of the building that looks like it's done and it has a metal door, that's what it is. And so we can put our SDGE equipment in there. So that's what that part is. We have some interior photos for you guys as well. This is when they were building the roofs of the rotundas, which are super cool. We have more pictures of those if you want to move forward. These are some of the interior walls as they were going up. As you can see now, they're pretty much all up and framed. You can move forward. Thank you. I really like this picture. It just shows how the rotundas have really come together. One of the things is the inside of the rotundas now have a lot more space inside. We raised it, so it's not quite so cramped. If you remember the old building when you were at that side, you were kind of like.
So those beams, the old beams? that
Sorry,
we put up
which?
there,
On this photo right now, yeah, those are the original truss structures, so those all stay.
They're staying.
Yeah, yeah. There's a lot. All of the other walls went, but the truss stays and the roof stays. You move to the next one. Yeah, that's just an exterior shot. You guys have seen that a lot. And then I think this one's really cool. These are new skylights. They look super nice inside. It's a really cool feel. And if you can move one more forward, it's a really cool space. Those skylights provide lots of natural light, and it feels really nice and open in there. So we're super excited. Those are just some of the pictures. Construction is going really well. I wanted to pass it to Brandon if you wanted to talk on any,
Sure.
What's been going on? That's your one. Yes.
Do I need it?
It's what
You're fine.
Brandon Schrader, I'm with County Parks and Rec Department. I'm on the operations side of the department, region manager, so that the epicenter will become part of my region. And so when we finish this up and cut the ribbon, I guess it's in my hands. And other people that will hire. But just wanted to share, I've been looking at this on paper for a while now, and every week lately I go and walk through in here, and what you've been trying to envision on paper, every time more progress is made each week, just becomes more and more real every time. This is really exciting. I know you can't go inside there right now, it's a construction zone, but it's fun to do it. So anyway, when we're up and running, we've been trying to get the word out and collecting thoughts and information for 2 or 3 years now. We've gotten a lot of great feedback on what kind of programs and activities and things everyone wants to see there. So I'm just continuing my outreach and request for more input on what you'd like to see. The primary function of this building, again, will be for youth, teenagers, young adults, but there'll be opportunities for people of all ages as well. So if you don't have my contact information, come and see me afterwards. I'll get it to you, and let me know what kind of things you'd like to see there. But we've gotten a lot, and it's going to be a variety. I mean, its core function, I talked about the age groups, but really that ability just to have a central location, facility, public facility for people to come and hang out. That was, in a lot of the surveys and things that we did, the number one response is just that daily, semi-organized, or just daily drop-in recreational activity. But there's a lot of things to supplement that too. Outdoor trips that we would take people on. Everything from, dance and arts to fitness to a place to, tutoring or a place to do homework, all kinds of stuff. It's a lot. So anyway, anything else you'd like to see in there, And then we've also initiated the process to sublease the one room in the building back to the city to SDPD for their RSVP office, which was previously there, as a lot of you know.
I have a question about that. I spoke to one of the RSVP guys, and he said something about that they made special requests in how things were set up. Are those
Yeah.
requests being met or not?
I think the main thing is they had a separate entrance, and they have their office, but there's a smaller office off of that office. I don't know what we call it.
Yeah.
It had a little bit more privacy. So if Lieutenant needs to come over and do something where he needs to close the door.
So you're able to accommodate them? is what I'm saying.
Yes. Questions, comments? Blaine?
On this,
Just in-
I want to show, are there shades that you can remotely control? Yeah.
For the skylights?
Yes.
So they have the ability to have shades installed, and they wouldn't need to be custom shades. At this point, we don't have those. We're going to let it operate for a while and see how it does, and there is shade in the area. But it does have the option to have them added without having to do like a big custom structure.
They will be watching.
But I would say we have them here in this building too. There's a bunch of.
But the one in the kitchen, is so hot, it's unbearable.
The other thought though is, removable skylights, it's even less lighting, like, to a temporary, but when you want to close it, when you don't want, and it would allow, for example, to do like a movie night or something in there, or during the day, when the light would be actually.
Yeah, we definitely want, and movie nights and those kind of things, we want to have, plan to have, we will have. And the shade on those, like it's been discussed, but I'll just say there are going to be things inevitably that don't quite make the cut, and there's obviously a limited amount of money, and there are, the things that didn't quite make the cut are things that we hope are small enough things that we can, through our annual operations and taking little bits of that operational budget each year, make small improvements. So there will be a few of those. I'm sure, I mean, we want to continue to, you're always working on it and trying to make improvements. And to add the shades on there wouldn't be too big of a project, like Riley was saying. It's not custom, it's a pretty standard size, so we'd be able to add them without too much expense. Over time.
Any other questions for us?
What's the, estimated date of, completion?
So fall of 2026, we'll get, a more specific date as construction goes. We're about to hit the rainy season. We are well prepared for the rainy season, which is great, and a lot of our work is interior work, so we don't anticipate that it will have an impact, but, usually for construction projects, you don't want to get super specific until after you're through your last rainy season, because you never know.
What's the full capacity of the epicenter?
Well, the full capacity of the building, that's a good question.
Fire code
Yeah, fire
or
code.
Yeah, in general, like, how do you monitor who's going in and who's going out? How many-
Yeah, don't quote me on the numbers here, so leave it out of your minutes. But I want to recall when we were in there before anything was demolished, there was an old fire code capacity thing on the wall that was somewhere around 500 for the whole building. It's an 8,000 square foot building. In reality, based on what's comfortable, and you've got, think about, you have one kind of main multi-purpose room, and then, which, if we're setting up something like this, we think, 100 people are probably comfortable in there. There's a smaller kind of a meeting room to the side of that, and then you have the two rotunda circular areas. One of them's a game room and music room, and the other one's a kitchen area. So when you add those in, and maybe comfortably 200 or 300 in there, but for large events, I mean, if we're exceeding 300 people on like a daily basis, great. I'd love to have that problem, and we'll tackle that. For larger events, that would also kind of spill over into the outdoor areas too. Good question.
We are very much interested on program. So we thought that maybe one of the dialogue that we can have is just purely just dedicated to epicenter program, and what kind of intergenerational activities between the senior center and the epicenter that we can do. What can we do on Friday nights, on weekends? Because I was very impressed when you guys had the event here with all the kids.
Oh yeah.
They are a blast,
As far as the intergenerational things, like the two things that always immediately come to mind are things like pickleball and gardening and cooking and those things, but there could be a lot more. There could be even time to sit down and exchange stories. And yeah, I don't know. The vision's kind of broad,
Like for example, on a Friday, maybe every quarter or once a month, we can have a joint event between the senior center and the epicenter, because we get the patio, we get the facilities. So there could be some nice joint events, right? That we can do, and that's, I think, is very, very exciting. And then during the day that you are not using the center for now, maybe there's something that the seniors can be able to do. We probably would like to establish the theater and play, and because you will have a stage, right?
yeah, small. Just like that.
Yeah, but they can still practice how to do plays. We got retired teachers here. Where's Chris? She can write a script. As a teacher. Yeah, we can have. I think it might be fun, during the
Some of
day.
those kind of things would be great. We thought about some of when we want to make full use of the facility. So, Yeah, when the kids are in school, you know, before 3 o'clock, there's other things that can be used for. That's a good idea. We've talked about fitness classes and things too.
And
So I
maybe some type of anime, you know?
Yeah, on the
So whatever month you wanna, that would be appropriate, like the beginning of the year, or, you know, because
Yeah, after you know the holidays, we get into 2026. I think is when we really start to ramp up, getting these things down on
Okay.
paper and starting getting you know instructors. And like I was kind of said, I've had some conversations with a lot of people and some in this room. There's a lot of different programs and things we can offer here and we will offer here. I'm not the expert on most of them. I'm kind of the jack of all trades. My job is really just to find the ones that are the experts on each one and plug them into place.
Brandon, I have a question. I know you're gonna be hiring like 2 people for this. When is that going to happen? Because my opinion is that it would be nice to have some kind of programming ideas ahead of that, ahead of time, so that those people at least have an interest, if not a skill set, but at least an interest, because you know what, I like it to be Comic-Con, you know, focused, which could be intergenerational and so on, and people that have those kind of, you know, those kind of interests, aside from the sporting stuff.
Well, there's good opportunities for that kind of thing, but it's that, and like I said, I want it to be, and I think we all want it to be forever, so that whatever the interest is, there's an opportunity to have it here. The 2 full-time positions we got approved for in this fiscal year's budget. I don't have an exact time on when we're going to fill those positions. I asked that question earlier today.
But you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It'd be nice to have
Oh,
like
yeah,
little,
we
good
definitely need to have them
further
in
on,
place,
yeah.
you know,
At least
before
some
the
of
ribbon
these.
is cut. There's planning that has to happen, and there will be. So it'll probably be a little closer toward the end of the fiscal year. Like I said, the positions were approved, but the money for that is kind of intentionally higher toward the end. I didn't get an exact, you know, month or date or anything, but our fiscal year ends June 30th, so I anticipate probably sometime in that last quarter of the
So,
fiscal year.
okay, good.
But in time to get them, you know, in there a couple months before it's open.
But in the meantime, we can do some brainstorming about cool things that we think we can have it there. It doesn't have to happen the whole thing, but some ideas that.
Right, and then we have our SB Nights program that already exists. It's all over, and we're going to be shifting them over here. So they're going to use some of this as kind of their headquarters too. And they'll still go do all their events all over the county like they do, but this will be one of their kind of hubs. So,
Okay.
and those people are in place already. Is that a question?
Yeah, so just as you're thinking about programming and hours and that sort of thing, keeping in mind that the local schools, the elementary schools close early on Thursdays at noon and things like that, so that's an opportunity for the Epicenter to be open, once it opens on the Saturdays too. So something to keep in mind about the school schedule, and when, you know, it's not that kids are only, you know, some kids are available earlier.
Oh, sure. We'll always keep a copy of school calendars in the office here too, so we're in sync with that.
It would be
And
nice.
on that note, that was one of the other things that crossed my mind was, you know, in other parks, we have homeschool groups that meet up in some of our parks too, and I think that's another opportunity during the days, morning, early afternoon. Sorry, Sandy.
I was just gonna say, I'm just thinking ahead about when these meetings are gonna start taking place as far as getting input. It might be a good idea to get some people from the schools involved in the meeting as well, so that we know how we can support them. Because they have a lot of programs already, you don't wanna duplicate everything, you know,
Right.
you know, that kind of thing.
Yeah, that's something we've talked about with the schools. I plan on going to one of the school cluster meetings pretty soon. We've attended a couple of those before, and I asked about getting on the agenda, coming up with one of those pretty soon.
I like to replicate what we did the very first time that we had dialogue, that we had groups of people who have different interests, And then from there, I still have a copy of those vision. What do they envision about arts and culture in our Mesa? So we can, you have a copy of those?
Yeah, and you know, I already got a growing list of potential program instructors and things too. I got a whole list of emails and phone numbers, so it's good. And I've met with some of them. I've got to arrange meetings with more of them, and we'll get there. Like I said, I want to really ramp it up after we get into the new year.
Okay. All right.
Great.
So we can have, maybe we can have that small preliminary, conversation. Maybe in the
Yeah, like in this meeting.
Yeah, but
Sure.
in this kind, like maybe in January or February, whenever you're comfortable,
Mhm.
to have it happen.
Yeah, and remember, it's always ongoing. We're flexible, we adjust. There's something, if we try to offer certain programs and it's not giving the interest, then we pivot and we offer other things. So,
That's what we heard.
it's just like your investments will be like diversified.
That's what we hear clear and loud from the County Board of Supervisors. We went there. We say, how do you measure success? And if it is not working, what are you going to do about it? Because we want that to be successful. And the response, you guys are going to be part of the solution. If it is not working, you guys have to work together how you can replace or what other things you can do. So that's why they challenge us, that we need to have a dialogue to say, well, this seems to be not working. So we have that instruction that we have to work together as a community to make sure that program there works. And if it doesn't work, how do you measure it? So you gotta have to be part of the solution to say, maybe we can revisit to do this way, that way, because we want it to be successful.
Yeah, and then, obviously we all do.
Yeah. Okay, so look at that. So I think I would like to, do you have anything else to add? Okay, but thank you. It's so nice. I always look the outside, not the inside.
Yeah, and if you are ever looking for pictures, go to scparks.org, the development page, Mira Mesa Epicenter page, and every month we post new pictures of the project, but also you can just walk outside. Question?
Hi, Brandon and Daniel. Are you kind of the point of contact for all things Mira Mesa construction related, or is it specific to Epicenter?
Yeah, this is pretty specific epicenter. Yeah, if you're talking about like this project that's also happening right next to you guys, that's a city parks project. So there's a city park project manager. I can give you her contact information if you have questions about that project.
And they're from the county.
Yeah, the county is, I don't know if we specified it tonight, but it's a city-owned building, the epicenter is, the county is leasing it from the city, and we'll operate it. Oh, sorry. Just to clarify, the county is leasing that building from the city, so we have a 45-year lease agreement that was signed earlier this year. And so the county plans to operate it for the next 45 years. And we'll see if it gets extended after that. That would be somebody else.
How old are you, Brandon?
Riley's going to sign.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
All right, but thank you, Riley and Brandon. But thank you. But now they're both Mira Mesa, so for 45 years, we will be hounding you. or our grandchildren, right? Okay, so I think, where's Jeanette? Let's just do the progress report for the park over there, very quickly. I'm sure everybody received the e-blast of the progress report update from September 20 to October 20. And we really thank the City of San Diego for giving us reports every month. On the 20th day of each month, they usually send us a progress report, and we did post this on social media. So we're not going to dwell on that because you probably have seen it. but for some folks who have been seen, okay, what happening? Yeah. So, how many of you have seen the e-blast that we sent today about the progress report? Okay, take photos and things like that. So we just want to go quickly about that. Okay. So this is the progress report from September 20 to October 20. So they sent us lots of photos. Kind of nice playground. And then those ones are the ongoing work that they're doing right now. So they're busy. And then if you want to know more information about that, they also created a special page for Mira Mesa, which is on the other side, that give us all the progress report of the project. So we are very happy that this is happening, that they're actually very transparent. Before, we just know that it was built and then that's it. But this one, every month they're sending us progress report, what they have done, and they take photos, and they take that very seriously to even put that on the website that anybody can see. So we're happy about that. So we're not going to spend more time on this because you will see it on social media tonight. I will post it on Nextdoor and how many social media we have in Mira Mesa, a lot of them. So you will see it. Okay? So in the meantime, this is what we will do. I would like everybody to get something to eat there because we have a big agenda for the 4th of July. And then get to know each other, say hi. So let's spend about maybe 10 minutes for you to help yourself. There's a lot of folks who brought a lot of food over there. So we've got to have to make sure that we are going to taste those. Okay? So 10 to 15 minutes. Okay? And introduce yourself. You are Mira Mesa Community champions. You're all championing the champions, the good things that's happening in Mira Mesa. So get to know each other. And
How was your trip out here about it? Good time?
I like it. Was a good trip. Sincere broken passions
Yeah, maybe.
That's one thing. But they just try to jam them in the road that existed.
Okay, so here's the information. One lane and one flight. And the way they do it is they're doing the same thing. The bikes are on the inside and the parking is on the outside. That's what they did on Claremont, Marston High School. That's my neighborhood. Where I grew up in Bay Park area. What they did was go from 2 lanes to 1. Right in front of Marston. I know. There's accidents happening because the bike lane people are going in and I think, what are you going to do?
They want to stop driving. They're trying to have problems. They're going to back us. I know what I'm saying. Yeah. That's it.
Maybe they're inviting people to buy. First of all, having other people to dinner.
Everybody have your food. Nice. Thank you so much for bringing all this wonderful food. Okay. Later. After work. Okay, so now the next agenda is the 4th of July parade. So in August of this year, I have applied a permitting for the 4th of July parade for 2026. And that is, we were asking for, I submitted a route for the parade, and we are the only one pending in the city of San Diego for the 2026. Okay. So we've been working behind the scene, And what we have discovered is they really cannot, if we apply for the route that Mira Mesa has been using for the last 4 years, which is Mira Mesa Boulevard, Camino Ruiz. Yeah, so they said they won't not be able to give us any permit for that, because since we did not resume 4th of July parade after the COVID-19, and everybody else that had parade, like Scripps Ranch, Rancho Bernardo, La Jolla, UTC, they resumed their parade in 2021. So 5 years, since 2019 to date, we don't have a parade. So in essence, we lost our spot. So therefore, they cannot give us resources of manpower, even though that we pay for those, right, Jen? Yeah. So, like for example, last year, Scripps Ranch had 32 special event traffic control plus 2 police officers. That cost them about $7,000. That they have to pay. So if they do that for us too, we also have to raise that money. But the commitment is they cannot give us permit for parade and give those manpower if they are short on staff, because they're already committed for those communities that did not postpone their parade for 5 years. So in essence, we're out of luck. So, but they offered to say that first, if we can move the parade on another day. I said, no, absolutely not. We're not going to have a parade in a different day. And another suggestion is maybe we can find a location like a parking lot. That's not from the city of San Diego, from some other folks who are trying to help us. I said, no, there's no any parking. We're not going to have a parade in the parking lot. So we were very, very clear to them. I spoke with the Northeastern Division, the Community Relations Officer, to say that please do not tell us that we have to consider to move the parade in another day. Okay. So let's work on it. It's a lot of letters that we have to send them and emails. So they said, okay, perhaps we can offer an alternative route, which should not involve Mira Mesa Boulevard, Camino Ruiz, or Black Mountain Road. So if we can have an alternative route. Then we responded to say, okay, I think our committee is considering we will propose an alternative route, but it's probably easier for us to have a sit-down meeting with the planning, special event planning division in the city and the San Diego PD, and just give us what route is acceptable, so that we're not going to be proposing so many maps, So that did not happen. So Amanda, where's Amanda? Yeah. Sent a letter to the mayor, to the chief of police, to everybody else, and also Kent Lee to say, here is our preferred route, and here's the alternative route. And then we had a meeting on October 3rd, and maybe Amanda, she's really very nice and very impressed with the letter that she sent to the city on behalf of the committee. So if you would like to explain what happened on October 3rd, when we have our little meeting.
Yeah, so we had responded to the city with alternative routes. They told us originally, well, we're not in the business of proposing routes, you can just let us know something different. So we had come up with an alternative. This was our original route that was submitted in the August permit request that was denied. And they said this involves too many major roadways and would require too much traffic control, and that it was out. So then, as a small committee, we went to take a look at the neighborhoods and all kinds of different areas that might make sense for a variety of reasons. So we came up with a second proposal, and we sent that back to the city and asked them to get back to us by October 1st. So this is the proposed route that we were looking at. So it's from Mesa Viking Park down Weston Hill Road, straight down Weston Hill Road toward the boulevard. That was, it feels central. It is not a major road. There's no traffic lights on that roadway. It's straight shot. And it's
it kind of still feels true to, I think, the vision, even though it's not the original vision. So that was kind of what we came up with, and we sent this to the city in early September and asked for a response by October 1st. They did not respond to us by October 1st. So we met on October 3rd to sort of see, what our next steps would be, knowing and that this meeting was coming up, which is also why we had given the city our proposed deadline of October 1st to hear back about any of this. I picked up the phone at that meeting and called Christina Chadwick, at the city. And I don't think she recognized my phone number, and she just picked up. Which I don't think she'll ever do again, but she did. So we spoke with her for a few minutes, and we kind of pleaded our case of because of an RFP, thanks to who submitted that?
The DRA.
The public records request, right. We knew that we were the only community in San Diego who had submitted a permit for the 4th of July. So they were trying to tell us, well, there's already resources allocated elsewhere. And we were saying, how is that equitable? And I think our argument was heard. They got back to us with a proposed date of actually today, conveniently, because they knew we were meeting this evening. So earlier today, Mitz and I had a Zoom with the chief of police,
Captain Lawrence, one of the
Yeah.
captains.
He was lovely, and a few other people, from the city. And ultimately, it sounds like the city. Ultimately, the city seems willing to work with us, provided, and with this route, with some potential slight alterations. So we have a lot of work to do, but they also, I think, are open to other communities that recognizing the desire for the 4th of July, especially next year being the 250th anniversary, but also working within their constraints of a limited police service, who some of them also want to take the day off and different things like that. So they're willing to work with us in terms of this alternative route, having volunteers do the majority of the traffic control, making sure we're renting proper barricades and equipment to block off streets and things like that. But the ultimate sort of outcome of today's meeting is that this is definitely possible, but there's a lot of work to be done. But I also, and Mitz and I both agree that there's a lot of people in our community who are excited to jump on board and get the work done and make this happen for our community next year. I think that's where we're at.
So I think this is what they would like to do. The special event traffic control, those are contracts that they hire to do the Swift Ranch and Rancho Bernardo. We have to replicate that with our own Mira Mesa special event traffic control. So that means that it has to be all hands on deck to make sure that we have enough people. There will be they say that it will involve 15 streets from Mesa Viking to all the way to Mesa Boulevard.
Yeah.
Right.
It's not going on those streets, but it's crossing.
Yeah, because the nice thing with Western Hill, there is cinder block all the way from, I think, Vibra or Camino Ruiz.
Right.
And the only thing that we have to really worry is not really take care of the control is on the east side of the street. And they probably realize that we have room for people who wants to see the parade. Unlike if we go to residential areas, that will be so challenging to have parking on one side and on the other side, and it's so small. So Western Hill, I think, is a very ideal place. So what we planned, I think we said that perhaps the staging is going to happen at the park, at the Mesa Viking, and then perhaps based on our, we have to drive and see the route. perhaps maybe start the real parade either in Libra or Capricorn Way, and then go south, right? South. And then maybe we can end at Westmore, and then all the floats can just go straight to go home or somewhere or back to the Mermaids Boulevard on their own. Or go left or go right. So that will be, I think Westmore is our ending of the parade. Yeah.
And could they go right to the park?
That's exactly, they walk across.
Yeah, walk across, and then we will have celebration here. We will have potluck at the Mermaids Senior Center. We can also open, I asked the field next door can be open for picnic, like we used to have. So those are, and then some little program. And then if the 4th of July fireworks is going to happen at 9 o'clock, then we want to end the program in the park at 3 o'clock so that we can tell the folks to say, now you have to go to, Hourglass and then have the nice, kids zone or whatever you have program there, right?
Right.
So there is coordination on that part.
We will coordinate whatever that
Okay,
is.
so do you think, I said that when I submit the permit, the application, I said ending at 3 o'clock. So that they have time to go to Hourglass. I applied for 10 o'clock, but I think the parade probably is going to be 11 as we used to do, because like 11, because they go to Scripps Ranch, and then they come here, and then yeah, I think 11 to 1 o'clock or something. 11, 12, 1. Yeah, early, very early. So now they will guide us to say, do we have to put all those notice of clear the, yeah, they will do that. We have to spend money for doing that, or the traffic, the cones and barricade and all those things. So they will guide us. And if we are successful, they will use this as a template for other neighborhoods who cannot afford, that they cannot be able to have a parade. So if we can make it successful and we do a good, great job, then they will, yeah. So in essence, they want us to replicate, the special event traffic control. So now we can have our own Mermesa special event traffic control. So I promise.
Is the Mesa Viking Park by Erickson? Is that Erickson?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Would Erickson be allowed to be used for the stage, because they have that big, huge area, lots of things for us to come.
See, those are the coordination that we're going to have.
This is just a rough, this isn't like approved and, yeah, but that's a, yeah.
This is a,
Isn't it nice? Yeah. So I told Captain Morris that I think we need to aim to have 40 volunteers, 40 Mermesa special event traffic control.
just for traffic.
Huh?
Just for traffic. Yes.
Yeah. So I'm sure that there will be a lot of retired. Maybe we can call to action, retired police officers who live in Mermesa, or all those veterans. RSVP, I asked about RSVP, as long as they are not in their uniform. So the 10 RSVP, I don't know how many RSVP we have from Mermesa. Yeah, we could. Yeah. And Andy recommended maybe we can also have the JROTC, even direct traffic or something that's safe. We don't want the kids. So, do you think we can do it? We can come up with 40 people?
Yeah.
We have, Boy Scouts,
Oh yeah.
we have Boy Scouts, we
Boy
have.
Scout, we got Girl Scout. Yeah, this is going to be all hands on deck. That we gotta have to have a lot of people. So safety is number one for us and for the San Diego PD. So we gotta make sure that they know where they're going. And the second one about safety is logistics, which is people. That's very important to have. And the second one is participation. We could have a permit for parade if there's no participation. So the people are just watching for nothing, you know, no one's to watch. Yeah.
So we have the Google folder of all of the logistics and the participants and everything from 2019. So our first step will be to reach out to everybody who used to participate. But if there are any newer organizations in the area or new businesses, you know, we're gonna work on outreach, and hopefully they'll also hear about it and come to us. And this will be a great opportunity to bring everybody back together and dust out those old floats and things.
So I had a great discussion with Andy. We need to bring the anime folks in the nice cars. So he said we can get 6 of them. Your vision is six of them. So we can combine it with with the other folks. But Amanda is going to send a survey of interest from those folks that participated for the last 40 years or any years in Mira Mesa, so that they know that, you know, we value their participation. We want to see them again. And thank God I have a discussion with Sandy Smith. I said, Sandy, you were the one in charge of the parade, the 4th of July committee before. So who should have a record of all what happened? And he said, oh, John Horst is going to be. She said, I think he's on Facebook, but he lives now in Kentucky? Tennessee. So she immediately put on Facebook. He responded in a few seconds.
I was in here and I walked out to the parking lot and I came back in. I said, yes, we got it. We got everything.
He sent the whole file, shared the Google file, you know. So I was very, very happy.
I'm glad, because mine was not an electronic version. I had a hard copy stored in the corner, so yay.
Hannah was a miracle. I mean, I remember at that
We just say-
everybody was complaining about John Horst being so computer oriented and did not want to have any hands-on stuff. And I thought, he's perfect. I know he's got everything digitalized. I know
Sounds
it.
perfect, Sandy.
It's just like a 5 minutes turnaround. I said, oh, I'm reaching on Facebook. And there it is. It's in the inbox already on the share. So Amanda, in each file, there's so many, it's like a shoebox. In each file, there's so many stuff. So Amanda is going to analyze those, you know, from everything, and I was so happy that he was responsive. Otherwise, we have to reinvent the wheels and how we're going to do this, you know. So,
I'm wondering, do we need to get permission from the people that live on Weston Hill driveways?
no, we will have to have, they will guide us, we will have to have a letter to say that there will be a parade. And normally, as you know, Jeff, a day before, those signs are already there to say, do not park, do not park.
72 hours before, you'll have to have the parking signs.
Yeah.
I live by the high school and they close it every year for the land review, and it's a similar
It's
thing.
very similar.
And they also, the police officer said that they'll have somebody who will come by and do the towing, so that morning if there's anybody that is along the freight route and that kind of thing. That's all.
Oh, we will do, yeah. So today is just a good news that two police officers, Captain Morris and then the person who is Sandiego PD in charge of Special Event Planning Division. So yeah, so he also attended, plus the director of Special Event Planning Division, which is Christina Chadwick, and Justine King. So those are the people that we usually work for permit. So now we have a pending permit there. Lots of work. We need to submit our new route. We need to do all stuff, you know, that we have to do with them. So, but they would like to help us so that this is going to be successful, that can be replicated for next year for some people who would like to have a parade. You know. So, do you think are you up to the challenge to find 40 people? Yeah.
So the other logistics, I'm worried about.
Yeah.
Well, like, here's the day.
you, do people need any special training to be the traffic people? Just
They will give us probably some guidance on it.
It's
So,
pretty minimal. I walk around, and the kids, they have little kids doing it, it's always makes me crazy.
So it's
The little kids, they have like 7 and 8 year olds directing traffic.
and perhaps we can invite the San Diego PD, especially event planning people, to come here. You know, and we got a meeting before, and we got all these folks who are in charge. We need to have at least a team leader for this street and that street. You know, I mean, if we're talking about 15 of them.
Yeah, that's a good idea, let's bribe them with food.
Uh,
Let's bribe them with food.
Yeah. Okay. So I think this will happen because there are some things that we did. The first thing is, okay, they're not going to give us permit. We gotta have to have the mayor or the San Diego PD, and so Amanda did the first letter to the folks. And then in parallel to that, we immediately filed. Robert, can you stand up? Robert Wilson. I told them, get a PRA on, for the last 8 years. Yeah, you want
It's a hot mic. All right, yeah, so the PRA, for those who don't know, is a public records access request. And so I filed one with the city, you know, they're required to, you know, provide public information. It turns out that request was specific. It's like, it was basically 2 questions. The first one was, in the last 8 years, where were there these special events permits on the 4th of July within the city of San Diego? And then the second question was, I don't even remember the second question.
Who's requesting permit?
No, I didn't ask the question. There was a second PRA. Oh yeah, it was related to what communities and in what communities did this happen, right? And so they prepared a list. It took about almost 2.5 months for them to respond to it. And after I put my request in, Mark also put in a request to PRA for the information on cost and then also the specifics of the routes. So between these 2 requests, we pieced together this information that was, well, first of all, they said, in my response, it was heavily redacted. They said they had a change in their recording system from a manual entry to online ticketing system in 2020, so anything prior to 2020, they didn't provide any information. But we could see, you know, there were basically 4 communities that were getting 2021, 2022, 2023, 2024, and had 2025. No one had put anything in for 2026. That was clear. There was no things pending, with the exception of the one that we had put in. Then in Mark's PRA, it actually came with the detail about the cost, which was really helpful because now we understood like what they were talking about in terms of, you know, like the resources, right? Because they actually, you know, in some communities it was, I think, as small as 17, and in other communities as large as 32 of these special events traffic controllers, and either 1 or 2 police officers to supplement the whole, you know, or supervise everything. And so we have been hearing that, you know, there's budget issues, you don't have the resources, there's already too many people assigned. And I think about it, it's like, I know a lot of people go down to the beach on the 4th of July, they want their police officers down there to prevent gang violence. I would too. But at the same time, if they're making, it was also very clear that they were reserving, you know, maybe on the order of 5 or 7 police officers for 4 communities that hadn't even filed a request for a permit, where we had already had ours in there. That was like when Amanda made that phone call, it was just like, yeah, that's kind of like right? So I'm really happy and pleased that they, you know, it's good news today that the PD is actually, looking to cooperate with us. That was the key thing, is just to find, what it was gonna take to do it. There's power in, the public asking those questions and trying to get to the bottom of it. And, so that was the thing that I contributed to, and I'm glad that this came out positive. I think that's probably all that we really want to say about it.
Okay, thank you. So in August, they already told us that 4th of July is a heavily impacted day. So right away, they said that we cannot have the parade because it's 4th of July. So my question here is it no parade at all happening in any street on San Diego City? And then they clarify themselves, oh no, it's happening, but only on this community that, in essence, did not postpone. We lost our spot, But before, it was kind of like no parade, because it's the 4th of July. So then they reversed themselves, because the PRA came in. They know that we are serious, we would like to use that. No, it's not true. You get 5 communities that you've always been approving every year since 2021. And for 2026, they haven't even applied yet. And we're the only one applied. And why are we losing our resources? So that's what Amanda was kind of saying. I don't think that is fair. The first come, first serve don't apply. And so they know that we are very serious by asking PRA, because they don't, and I told them that we are going to have a call to action meeting tonight so that we can have our plan B. Because we offer that we are going, give us the permit, and we are going to raise money for the expenditures. Because we cannot have the parade without them saying that you can use the street. So they know that. So that's why when Christina, after saying to Amanda on October 3rd, that said, no, we cannot give the permit, even for the alternative route, So we said, okay, what to do? So they know that we're meeting tonight, so she called me after a week, and they said, I think we can make this happen, but we need to have a meeting with San Diego PD, which is happening today, because they would like that to happen before our meeting tonight, so we can at least give you a little good news, that although it can happen, but it will take a lot of work from the community, which I think we can do. Okay.
How do they not know that we aren't going to go? Really? How do they know that already? You're fear-based, and I said, no, just give us what we want, because we're not going to go away.
Well, they know that because we organize people, we go to City Hall for 30 people, and then I think on the street fair, Karen and Lauren and whoever, they went to Kent Lee to say that, what can you do? So what's the response?
Well, Kent said that it was really police not having the people, and he didn't want to get involved, but to go to the mayor's office.
Yeah, isn't it?
I asked.
It's doesn't. And same with her. He said, "Oh no, it's really the mayor."
But
because they asked him, I said, "Is that fair that we are the only one with the application pending for next year? None of the other 5 community that they are reserving those resources." I said, "How could that be fair? And if it is fair, explain to us why it's fair." And if you believe that it's not fair, then what are you going to do about it? So I was very disappointed with the response to you and Lauren and other people who asked him. So our next move tonight, if we did not get the meeting from the city, is to really put him on the spot to say, how could it be fair, and what can you do about it? At least explain to the Mira Mesa residents to say, oh, I think I agree with the mayor and the San Diego police decided that those resources will be reserved, even though that they don't have an application yet. That's what we want life to hear from him. But I don't think that, I told folks, we don't have to worry about it if he doesn't want to help at all, to just even question, to say that, is that something that you accept? So, but anyway, so now here we are. just make sure that we will have a committee. So anybody who are interested to be in the committee, we need to have people from the logistics side, from the programming that will happen in the park, from participation, and then fundraising. Those are the 4 committees that we need to have. So anything that you are interested to work on those 4 areas, fundraising, logistics, participation, and programs up to the parade, we would gladly, welcome your support. But in the meantime, I had, Andy, I don't want to put you on the spot, commitment that you will be helping us, at least with Amanda and you and me. We can kind of like have a committee and then expand whoever would like to participate in any of those 4 areas. Okay. And I have promised that the fiscal sponsor of the parade, because we don't have the 501c3 number yet, that we will do the fiscal sponsor, which is the same fiscal sponsor of the Mira Mesa Senior Center, which is the Alliance for Quality Education. We will provide them the insurance because they will require $2 million liability insurance for those, right? So we will provide those, and we will raise the money, but we need also help from you guys to kind of help. And the good news with this is we are not going to spend, if we have all the volunteers, we will not going to spend about $7,000 from 2 police officers, and especially then traffic control. So the money that we are going to raise is for the barricades, for the cone, for other expenditures, the permits, what else? I think that's what we have.
Talking about the fundraising, we try to be careful with our event because it takes a lot of money to do the fireworks. Companies that do sponsorships that we can get them and divided among the asking for it. So we want fireworks to have first priority fundraising, particularly for sponsors.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So we will make sure that whatever, regardless of no fundraising, we will make a budget for that. So that's going to be covered. But if not, then we can use those other resources to support other events in Mira Mesa and Day and all those things. But that is going to be my commitment for our board to happen, that all the, liability insurance, all those things, we will cover that. So. Well, we asked the timeline. The first thing that Amanda is going to do is submit.
Well, they have to send the permit back to us to be able to edit, and then we have to resubmit it. So we have a lot of planning we need to do, all that finalizing and just editing those pieces, then resubmit it, and then they'll, take a look at it, we'll all go back to the table.
You know how the application for a special event, it's like 34 pages.
Oh, yeah.
Everything, right?
Typically, don't actually get the permit until 2 weeks.
2 weeks before of the event.
You can tell because they'll be asking specific questions about parts of the event.
It's kind of like review this, change this, that. I'm going to be doing that for the night market. So they have that. The only thing we have to do is change the map, right?
Yeah, we have to finalize all that.
And we have to drive exactly that there's 15 streets. And what would be logical to start, the starting point of the parade, would it be Capricorn Way or Libra? Right? What makes sense? And where do you think you want to end it?
And all of those answers will impact the budget. So
Right.
once we kind of map that out,
Would it be much more safer if Westmore is not going to be, will be closed so that everybody with this big platform and not going to go through that? I would rather that they go Mira Mesa Boulevard straight, right or left, because it's a park and it's very narrow. So I would rather have to end the parade right there on the street before, right after Westmore, so that they can just go,
Is it Westport, the last street before Mira Mesa Boulevard?
No, there's another street, one more street to the left.
Oh, that's one.
What's the name of the street there? What's the name of that?
That's right, yeah.
And, there's a little one over there. I'll let
Yeah.
Arlington McCarran and,
Yeah, and is that something that connected to go out, to go to Marisa Boulevard, everywhere? Yeah, so I thought that would be where,
Arlington's better.
huh? Okay.
Arlington is better.
Yeah.
But Weston.
Yeah.
if they have no reason to have to go to the
Yeah, so, but I think opening Westmore for people to go, not good idea, because it's a park, and it's very narrow, so, but they can drive there. But maybe you can drive and count all the streets that we need to man, so. All right, so, Robert.
So you mentioned using HGV to do the fundraising for the,
Yes.
do you let people know how to make personal contributions?
Will do. And I think what we will do is we're going to have a special page on the Mira Mesa Community Champions about 4th of July parade and how they can donate and how they can volunteer if they like. Maybe sign up to say, okay, I want logistic, I want traffic control, I want to be those 40 Mira Mesa, especially event traffic control. We can have sign up.
I'd like to add something that's, I sense a concern that doing the parade might take some funding away from the fireworks. Personal experience is that when people are in the parade, they're more likely to support the fireworks. So, one of the problems that the fireworks has had is that there hasn't been support from the parade people or the people that have been, in the park and that type of deal. So, I think it would benefit the fireworks and not the detriment.
And we will push that. Yeah, we will push that. And we're not trying to approach the sponsors. Whatever the sponsors like Volcan and Free Roots and no, we're not going to do it. We gotta have to do it on our own, not touching that because we know if they're what will divide what they're going to give you. That's right. Yeah. I don't think that for the fireworks, I don't think that you can apply for county grants or something. Oh yeah, we could. You can apply for the county for that because it's not fireworks. Yeah.
And maybe the county can give us money.
So Martha, you have something to say?
Brandon doesn't.
When Mitch was talking about the 5 parades they're having, I don't think the city's being honest with you. Because University City does not have a parade. They have a gathering in a park. And that's it. Yeah, there's a 5K run, but that's not a parade. And the 5K run is essentially 3 miles and just jogging around. And that's done really early in the morning. So I don't think, when the lady you're talking to, she's talking
Christina.
Yeah, I don't know how they have University City listed as a parade when it's not a parade.
Well, it might just be a special event.
Especially then, whatever
There's a
special.
big difference between staffing a parade and staffing a special event. They should compromise a little bit more.
So Marcia, and so the details of that particular event on the 4th of July is they don't actually require the resources at all because they're staying in the park and they're just running in the park. It's within the park and I've seen it go out. But the other 3 is La Jolla, Rancho Bernardo,
Oh gee, what a surprise.
But why can't Mira Mesa switch with University City and just switch spots and go, you have 5 there, but one's really not a parade. That's a bunch of BS, not a parade. We want that spot. Now you still have 5. You should be able to take that.
And it's probably over before we even start.
100%.
Oh, I think. When you request PRA, that's why it takes 2 months. They have to redact, they have to make the special event department work hard to, because you're asking for 8 years, 8 years of what committee had a parade, and the cost and all those things. So they know that. So they know that we are very serious about, okay, so now the summary is, okay, we get La Mesa, University City, La Sequoia, Monte Bernardo, Secret Friends.
The one in La Mesa fell off.
Fell off?
They fell off because they didn't do it in 2024.
Oh.
So Lake Murray, they had one at Lake Murray also, and Lake Murray is actually off the list.
Okay.
La Mesa has their own La Mesa police.
Yeah.
They're not
Okay.
on the same.
So I have asked Mark about this whole issue. He said, "Oh, I have a friend." So the former leader, San Diego PD special event person, right? Retired. So then I think she called Christina, and they came back and say, "Well, they said that you guys lost your spot because we paused from 2019 or 2021, you know, to 2025. So therefore, you know, we lost our spot." So I was so, you know, I told Mark, "What are we going to do?" I said, "Okay, we're just going to do what we can." But the PRA is there. They know we are serious. We submitted that. He submitted it in August because we will use that when they say that, "Oh, there's no any parade," you know. And then we can, our next move is to sit down with San Diego PD, Chief of Police, to say, "Well, we're offering that we will pay for those anyway. We just need to have a permit, you know." And then you offered to have an alternative route, which we did. And then again, they said, "No, it will still involve San Diego PD if you use Western Hill." So therefore, it's a no. That's October 3rd. Then a week after that, she called and said, "I think we can have a meeting and we can probably work because I know you guys want to have the parade and then it's
Mark, are there any retired police officer organizations?
You're a retired police.
Are there any retired police officer organizations?
There's retired senior volunteer patrol, and there's also the reserve division of the San Diego Police Department running 100 officers. I'm not sure exactly how they deploy them, but yeah, and there are retired police officers, but once they retire, they just move.
That's funny. So I think this is good. So anybody you know, we will send you. You will know because we always send you an email, and anybody who would like to communicate and say they would be interested. So we'll follow up with you. So what do you think? Is there any response? Do you think it's a good idea, or we should not do it?
It's a good idea.
What?
How about the Saturday before the 4th of July? Maybe we can be on the Hermes Boulevard.
No, they won't do that either.
About the parade, anybody that wants to volunteer, who should I have direct to contact?
Yeah, Amanda, and you, and me. And you're going to be the event coordinator, number 1, number 2, number 3.
So we've got Andy, Amanda, and Vince.
Yes. Amanda and I are going to work on revising our application. You know how it is. Well, we have to revise, do this, do that. Okay, we will revise it. You want to be specific.
The revised parade route sounds quite doable. I think that's something that I just have to get behind, and whatever happens with when the fireworks are, if I could put in a brief Scripps Mesa fireworks one. We have big fall fundraising campaign going on now because honestly at the moment we don't know for sure if it will be on the 4th or on the 3rd. I think we can commit there will be fireworks in Mira Mesa one of those 2 nights. So we can synergize with the parade, whether the fireworks are the night before or the evening of. And I like that thought.
Yeah, we will all going to work together. So, and I think, so that's what we will do. We will have the website, and then you guys communicate with the 3 of us to say who would be interested on this area. I know most of you, I have your email address, okay? So now, anything, roundtables, I think we're there. Yes, sir.
So I won my home in Mira Mesa in of 6. And I think it's been 3 years now since the park, the Maddox Community Park, just down the street from our house, they started construction there. It fenced off about 80% of that park. And that was, I think, around summertime of 2022. And so this was the 4th summer where most of that park, our neighborhood park, our 6-year-old hasn't had access to it in the last 3 or 4 years. Do we know what the delay is?
Can you respond?
Quickly, yes, yes. This is the man who knows the most about it.
I've been keeping track of it, it's not my fault. It was way late. There were a few legal issues and things like that, but for the most part, they've just not done a good job of keeping them scheduled. They are speeding up now. If you go out there now, they've been, a few weeks ago, there were these giant mountains of dirt. Those are all gone. It's now flat on both the top and the bottom. The soft park actually has topsoil on it, so it looks like they're finally getting to the point where they're going to make it a park. If you go to the Mesa Recreation Council page, MesaRecreationCouncil.org, I've been putting it on there every month when we get the report what the status is. They did extend it one more time. Now they're saying spring 2026.
Maybe this summer. We will see. It's our neighborhood too, and we walk around behind there a lot. See us at the end of the meeting.
So,
Face to face.
yeah. What you want to ask them is progress report. Okay. So, okay, Sabino.
I'm sorry, when you say legal issues, so we live by today, and during the school break, there was nobody working. There's no construction there. But as soon as school resumed, they started working. It doesn't make any sense. This is not working.
Lawsuit was over a copyright issue with the sheet structure that they were eventually going to put over the Maddox playground. Just got
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So, okay. And Susan would like to say a few words.
Hi, I'm Susan Strauch with Near Mesa Women's Club. We're an all-volunteer nonprofit since 1974 in Near Mesa. And we have a very special project. We are raising funds for a psychiatric service dog for a veteran that has either PTSD, traumatic brain injury, or military sexual trauma. And it's a very, very special project for us. So we wanted to have a very special fundraiser. So in this very room, November 15th, we are having bingo. And it's $25. That includes all the games and the food. And we have a lot of wonderful
gift baskets and silent auction. So if you ever thought about, wouldn't it be nice if I could stay in Manchester and play hotel downtown? Well, you possibly could make that happen because we have that in one of our silent auctions. If you've ever wanted to go to the Midway, we have 4 tickets to the Midway. There's a new escape room in UTC. We have lots of tickets for that. So we have a whole bunch of stuff going on. So it's going to be a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun last year. We take everything: cash, checks, Zelle, credit cards, Apple Pay, and I'd be happy to take your money tonight if you'd like.
Susan,
Okay, everybody will play bingo.
Susan, what time of the day?
It's here. Registration is at 12:30 and we start at 1.
Okay. All right, I can find it. Oh, no, $25 would cover the bingo.
Yeah. And it's for all ages. The other thing bingo is for a lot of old people. We're going to have people in their 20s and 30s too.
Thank you, Susan. Okay, anybody else, any announcement from anybody?
Yes. One thing I want to
President,
President, So this has nothing to do with anything we've been talking about. Dan Gruda, I wish you were here. We were talking one time and he said, I represent an effort to get a ship named, or I did represent it, to get a ship named for Telesforo de la Cruz Trinidad, a Filipino fireman who was on USS San Diego. And actually there is going to be a ship named for Telesforo Trinidad. But Telesforo? Yeah.
That's the ship.
Yes, DDG 139, I think it's going to be. So when Dan mentioned that to me, the Surface Navy Association, which I'm a member of, does every year a Hall of Fame, and they elect people into the Surface Navy Hall of Fame. I nominated Telesforo Trinidad because he was a recipient of the Medal of Honor for rescuing people on the USS San Diego from a boiler room explosion. He received that in 1915. January 21st, 1915 was the date of his action. I nominated him for the Hall of Fame, and just before we left for Australia, that nomination was voted on and approved. So he will be inducted into the Surface Navy Hall of Fame, the very first Filipino in that Hall of Fame. I thought everybody would like to know that.
Okay,
Okay. Do you want us to? Yeah, so,
Cool. I got that.
Hi everyone, my name is Beth Ison. I'm with El Camino Memorial, and I just want to announce we offer free park tours, and for participating in the park tours, to let you know what's available there, because as we all know, the two things that are certain in life are and we put the fun in, what. But anyway, like I said, for the free park tour, no application, just to introduce to you what El Camino is all about. We have 250 acres, and just this morning we had a free breakfast, seminar, and that's what I would like to invite you. We have it at Broken Joe, and like I said, no application, just to let you know what is the benefits